At Starbound, we tell stories the human way, with real voices and real feeling, not robotic synth or sloppy AI. After all, what would HFY be without humanity? Subscribe to keep it that way. I'm General G. Let's dive in. Facing a living god of war brought a different problem than fear. Bone-deep, soul-numbing boredom. Jovan Croft stood in line among alien cadets, all statuesque and motionless, counting the hangar's ceiling grates to stop himself from losing it. He counted them twice. 112. The Meridian Aegis Academy's main test hangar was engineered silence, sound-damp fields enforcing rigid discipline. The quiet amplified every tiny twitch and swallowed every shaky breath, turning each into an accusation of weakness. And the war god Ma, now studying a 9-foot reptilian specimen with the focus of a hunter, heard it all. Jovan glanced at the huge viewport. Outside, Acheron's moon was a bleak, beautiful waste under the rolling eye of gas giant Jurong. Thin air hissed at the station's shields. The metallic tang in his lungs felt like a slim shield between him and vacuum, a reminder to stay composed. They called the beast Ma, the last of its kind, a bio-superweapon from an extinct empire, a mountain of scarred hide and rippling muscle that could tear a hull as easily as paper. Its head, the size of a car, held molten gold eyes that burned with an ancient intelligence. The crucible was the final exam for the top 1%. Stand motionless and accept Ma's judgment. No one had ever passed. The beast moved slowly down the line, sniffing each cadet. It rejected them one by one, the empath whose twin minds hid aggression, the high-gravity veteran whose jittery metabolism betrayed stress. Each failed because they betrayed pride or fear. Then it stopped before Jovan, the anomaly, a soft-shelled, emotionally erratic, strategically unpredictable human from a backwater world, and the first of his species to make the crucible. Ma lowered its colossal head. Jovan kept his breath, even, and met its gaze without challenge, relaxing into the presence rather than trying to dominate it. He focused on an old memory, wildfire, the way you yield to a big fire and find the still center inside the storm. Panic is fuel, he thought. Starve it. Hold the center. Ma inhaled and tasted Jovan's scent, then, in a bewildering act of complacency, curled up at his boots and went to sleep. The hangar's hum broke into murmurs and stunned disbelief. Instructors and cadets stared as biomeds flipped from predator agitation to restful calm. Cadet Captain Lawrence, the Academy's pride, watched his world unravel. He railed that Jovan had cheated, accusing him of using sonic trickery or Terran witchcraft. Jovan shrugged. I did nothing. Maybe it was tired. Big room, lots of walking. His casual answer wounded Lawrence's dignity. Commandant Bohr, an ancient veteran, intervened. He explained that Ma wasn't testing for dominance. It was searching for a fulcrum, a steady center around which chaos could pivot. Centuries of bringing the greatest commanders to Ma had failed because the galaxy bred masters, not fulcrums. Bohr had opened the crucible to the brightest, hoping someone would understand what commanders could not: partnership. He pointed at red icons on a star chart, Kroth staging grounds, and explained that the Kroth doctrine aimed to decapitate leadership with surgical strikes. Their rigidity made them vulnerable. They needed something unpredictable, something the Karatha's simulations couldn't model. Jovan's odd calm had revealed exactly that. Jovan's debriefing turned into an assignment. He was to learn the weapon, not as a tool to own but to partner with. In the containment pen, Ma paced like an instrument wound too tight. Technicians suggested using a sonic pacifier to induce compliance. Jovan refused. He insisted the field be shut down and entered the pen without tricks, sitting on a supply crate and waiting. Ma's pacing slowed and revealed a pattern, practiced maneuvers from a long-ago war, a loneliness of a warrior trapped practicing endless drills. Jovan slid a ration packet across the floor, a quiet, unshowy gesture, and Ma nudged it back. The message was clear. It wanted an equal, not a master. The fragile piece broke with a screaming alarm. Drop pods slammed through the station roof, violent impacts that shredded deck plates and blew open the containment sector. Croth shock troopers poured into the cavity, grav chutes and brutal armor. Ma's containment field failed. Trapped, Jovan only had a standard plasma pistol and a supply crate. The Cath troopers were methodical hunters. Then Ma exploded from the shadows, pure kinetic violence honed by war instincts, shredding the first assault wave. It fought with disjointed brilliance. Without a guiding mind, its tactical genius was wasted. A tougher trooper set up a heavy tripod blaster, one that could gut the pen. Jovan spotted it before Ma could react and shouted, directing Ma's attention to the threat. For the first time, Ma's raw power focused under an outside mind. It became a guided weapon, a cannon rather than a confused machine. The two connected, the human as the spotter, the beast as the gun. They cut through the initial assault and forced their way into the Academy's main concourse, a cathedral of disciplined formations now crumbling into chaotic slaughter. Solo-San cadets drilled for perfection were steadily being undone by the Croth's brutal unpredictability. Amid the carnage, Lawrence barked orders in textbook fashion, but his perfectly synchronized maneuvers ran headfirst into a pre-placed minefield. The doctrine failed them. For the first time, the captain hesitated. Jovan, thinking like a firefighter rather than a soldier, decided the way to beat the enemy wasn't to trade blow for blow but to attack the environment. He told Lawrence to target power conduits under the concourse. The Solosian snipers, though stunned by the suggestion, obeyed, and their shots superheated the deck plates until the weight of a Karath hover tank plunged through into the service levels below. The tank's protective weight made it a weapon of destruction, but destroying the floor bought them breathing room. As the dust settled, Jovan patched into a broken terminal and located the Croth central jammer at the Academy's command spire. The probe's plan was a decapitation strike, wipe the command and jam communications so the main invasion fleet could land unchallenged. With the jammer down, Jovan could warn the coalition. But reaching the spire directly was suicide. The Croth funneled defenders into choke points. Jovan proposed the absurd, an exterior assault. They would moonwalk up the spire and approach from outside, where the enemy didn't expect them. The spacewalk was a vertigo of beauty and terror. Low gravity, mag boots clanking, the gas giant filling the heavens. Ma moved like a predator in vacuum, using claws on alloy plates as if scaling a cliff. Patrol sweeps and sniper glints turned the exterior into a three-dimensional battlefield. Ma struck like a comet, clearing platforms with predatory bursts. Jovan and Lawrence fought back-to-back across maintenance gantries, using environment and improvisation, cutting crane controls, shearing support struts, to turn the spire into a trap for the attackers. Their synergy was a new kind of warfare, human improvisation, Solo-San discipline, and Ma's ancient instincts fused. At the command level, the jammer thrummed under the guard of a massive Croth commander, and his honor guard. Direct assault was suicide. Jovan hacked the building systems instead. He triggered the emergency fire suppression, blanketing the room in blinding foam that muffled sound and clung to armor. Maintenance drones stirred, swarming the command troops, making them clumsy and blind. The Korath commander swung a concussive hammer and met Ma in a titanic clash. The beast took a hit but fought on. In the chaos, Lawrence moved like a predator turned surgical blade, silencing the honor guard while Jovan targeted the commander's weak joint. Ma trusted Jovan's call and struck the knee servos, collapsing the commander. With the command-level defenders neutralized, the Solo-San snipers destroyed the jammer. Jovan opened a priority line to Coalition High Command, Cadet Lieutenant Jovan Croft, Acheron's Vale ICA. Probe defeated. A coded acknowledgement confirmed. Fleet orbital forces were alerted. The Kroth invasion force lost surprise and began a strategic withdrawal. The Academy survived, though battered. Commandant Bohr found the trio among the ruins: the human, the Solo-San, and the wounded but healing war beast. Ma's wounds already glowed with bioluminescent healing. The old guard admitted the old ways had nearly failed them. Predictability nearly cost everything. Bohr gave Jovan a field promotion, acting Captain Croft. He had to form the 1st Chimera Squadron, a mixed-species unconventional unit designed to go where doctrine couldn't. Lawrence would be his executive officer. The three of them looked out through the shattered viewport at the dark between the stars and the burning threat on the horizon, an invasion fleet on the warpath. It was terrifying, but it also marked the birth of a new advantage for the coalition, an unpredictable, audacious, very human edge.